Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Very excited to get into some technical analysis for the SPY Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and Meta going forward. Couldn't do it that fast this time. We're going to be looking at GME and AMC as well. And today, one of the first things I wanted to do this morning was actually talk about DJT. So we're going to talk about DJT here in a moment. But first off, before we get into DJT, I just wanted to mention that new course that's in the description. If you're someone who wants to learn how to swing trade, and I'm already going to be adding to that course, there is something that I wanted to do with the 2-hour and the 30-minute scale for swing trades on the smaller scales and using those weekly or daily expected moves in order to teach you guys some stuff about that. Now, we're not going to teach you in depth about these weekly expected moves, but we will go over a brief summary. If you need to learn more about the weekly expected moves, that is going to be in the next course, which is just how to trade in any market. Now, for these weekly expected moves, though, we're just going to use a method in order to, because I know people will be using swing trading on shorter time frames. It's a little bit more difficult because you see crazier things. But in case you're going to do that, I just want to make sure you have a little bit of insight from me as I have done it before, and we're going to use that around weekly ranges. So it's a great time to get that course. It is 90% off. It is $50, the craziest sale that YouTube has ever seen as far as swing trading goes. And yeah, we're going to be adding to that course already. So don't think that just because I'm, putting it out there at a 90% discount, I'm not trying to give you the most value that I possibly can. I will be adding a video to that course this weekend for the shorter time frames for you to use. And we're going to talk about those weekly ranges when we do it. So good morning. Once some people trickle in here, and I am like, my video is sketchy. Anyone else see that? Anyone else see that? Here, let me fix this thing real quick. Something's up with this thing, so let me fix this thing real quick, guys. Give me 2 seconds. But yeah, so I want to talk about DJT once everyone gets in here. Just some of the stuff that has been coming up seems a bit fishy, and I want you guys to be aware of it. I think it's important to not only talk about the stock market, but talk about why people are making the decisions and the trades they're taking who are a little bit higher up than you. I think that would be a good thing to go over this morning. Let's see if that video fixed it all. Hey, we're back. We turned into a cyberpunk, a techno genius for a second, but unfortunately, it's just me, guys. But we got the tank top going because that's going to get into the DJT thing a little bit too. I got a tank top on because I'm going to the gym, and I suggest that you guys find a time of the day where you can do the same, especially if you happen to be a male. I think that would be a very, very good thing for you these days as things politically have been getting a little bit crazy, and you want to make sure to be on top of your athletic game. All right, looking forward though, we do have the SPY. Now, last night's YouTube video, I want you guys to take a moment, if you're seeing this live, if you're not seeing this live, to make sure you have notifications on. I have seen multiple messages now that people are starting to not receive my videos in their main feed, and some people aren't even getting the notifications. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is, normally I'm going to give you my schedule, okay? Normally I wait about 30 minutes to an hour after the close, and then I make the video and I push that thing out, and it takes me sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. So what I'm going to encourage you to do right now, and I know this is very difficult. I know this is something that not a lot of people want to say or anything like that, but what I want you to do right now is really just pick a time of the after pretty much 2 hours after the close. Pick a time where you really like to watch this video. Treat it like one of your favorite shows or something like that. Treat it like an information show, and just really look for that time and go into your subscriptions and look for my video, because I'm seeing a lot of things that look fishy on my analytics. I'm seeing some people even say that they're not receiving my notifications for these things. And I told you a couple episodes ago, like I'm trying to talk about as much stuff as I can. As me and my buddy, we've been preppers for a long time. We called out the fact that there was going to be a higher probability for one of the candidates to get assassinated, and that ended up playing out. And it really seems like over the last few weeks, I have been seeing a lot of people tell me, hey, I'm not receiving my notifications, I'm not receiving this, I'm not able to see your video on the main feed. And even the other channel that I have, doesn't see my own videos on the main feed. So very, very interesting with that. And I haven't been receiving notifications on that channel either. So that's very interesting to me. So I'm just going to encourage you to help out the channel. Make sure you're watching those videos because we're putting out good info. Right now, we're starting to see a dead cat bounce. And that's what we'll take it as right now because we are very deep down into negative territory. Okay, that's why I'm calling this maybe a dead cat bounce. But if you noticed in the video last night, I was open to us fully recovering because of how the dollar is. But now the dollar is starting to scale up very quickly. So as we do get this bounce, you have to see if that dollar is really turning around because we actually could be getting the rigged move from yesterday to play out while then people start to sell and then we see that start to drift back down by the end of the day. So this could be our dead cat bounce moment. And my wife was like, why didn't you put a dead cat in your thumbnail? I was like, because dead cats don't really bounce. How am I going to find a picture of a dead cat bouncing? It just didn't make sense. Anyway, but looking at the SPY here, just wanted to show how this is so negative here. So if we curl down, we can curl up, but if we start to curl down at any time, you need to be aware if this thing is reversing back around. And as of this morning, we are bouncing and the dollar is bouncing. So this does make sense for us to be heading up based on yesterday's price action with the dollar, with DXY. But today, now we're already seeing the dollar pump up while the stock market pops up. So we'll pay attention to that. Qs, you're seeing a similar story outside of that weekly expected move. So we can see full recoveries here. But this was our 68% zone. That's why we were talking about it. And I'm sure, actually, now that I think about it, I'm sure a lot of the people yesterday who were... yeah, it's real funny, isn't it, John? It's real funny how people are getting sick from COVID vaccines and stuff, too. Pretty interesting, right? Now, what are we talking about here with AMD, though? Because I want to talk about this because I know a lot of people were trying to buy this thing up, and I was just like, man, this is just such a sketchy one to buy into because of how the look of it is. This thing could just escalate. But as the most likely scenario is, this is some kind of at least short-term trap for a dead cat bounce at this point, if not a full recovery. I could totally understand doing that, but you might have just done it a little bit early, doing it at the beginning of the day. So that's fine. Now we can bounce up, and we're most likely going to head towards that weekly expected move. I think we'll go for a retest of that, and then it'll be a moment where it'll be, can we take it back and recover, or are we just going to reject to at least create a stronger base? Remember, you are deep in negative territory, so stronger bases are usually necessary unless it's something like Netflix earnings is just going to like rip everything up on Friday. That's what I would have to say for AMD. Now, NVIDIA, you're seeing that one bounce as well. It makes total sense, but is this the strongest base on the 30-minute? No, so we still have to be open to this rolling down. We're far down on the MACD, so just be a little bit cautious with it. Let's look at something else. Apple starting to bounce up. What did we talk about with Apple? Left head, right shoulder. So watch out if Apple rolls down at any time. You pretty much, and this is what was the good part about last night's video, is super easy to understand because all of these stocks look like this. And if they just bounce up, it's just going to be a little bit difficult. Apple can see that positivity. It's a little bit closer. But if that does curl down at any time, you know, hey, that might be a right shoulder and this might get ugly, okay, for Apple. So one of the ones that looked a little bit different was Tesla. Now Tesla can see some positivity here, and that's because look how close it is to positive territory. So if this thing just pops up for a bit and goes positive, you're probably beating out this high. You might even go test this one over here, and then we have to look at the higher time frames. We got to start looking at 2 hours, see if those can curl up and things like that. AVGO, we'll go over that in a moment. First things first, we gotta talk about how you guys need to like the video. And then we need to talk about DJT. I really want to talk about DJT this morning because this morning I'm reading a lot of things, and I'm reading a lot of things about certain companies, and these certain firms, companies, whatever, keep magically having these perfect positions, these perfect short positions before big events. So if you didn't know, the same companies that shorted the day before 9/11 at a dramatic rate, the same companies that shorted the day before October 7th, they shorted the Israeli exchange the day before October 7th. On October 6th, they shorted it. Pretty great timing, isn't it? And then we have DJT, and it's almost like they're not even trying to hide it. It really is, because those same companies that shorted on those 2 dates shorted right here. Those companies shorted right there for DJT. And I think that's all that needs to be said. I think you guys can put together the dots of whether or not something fishy was going on with that assassination, whether you think it was a 20-year-old crazy kid, or maybe something like this can convince you differently. This is why I say I'm wearing a tank top today. I'm going to the gym after this. I really am. I'm really focusing on being strong. I'm going on runs. I'm making sure to be athletically fit. I'm making sure to do things that are in direct line with helping out with my family. And I think that I want to encourage you guys to do the same. Being genuine about that. I wanted to really take it seriously for a moment before we really, the market opens in 4 minutes. Who gives a shit about the market when we have stuff like this going on that can really affect your family? Sure, the market, if you're trading it, can affect your family a little bit, but things like this can take men away from families and things like that. So I just wanted to give that brief little moment. All right, start to put things together, guys. Do your own research. That's the main point here. Not trying to say anything. YouTube, don't block out my videos. Okay, but now we're getting back into the market. So for DJT, by the way, let's actually break that one down. Let's actually break that one down this morning. Remember what I was saying about the 30-minute? This is a great swing trade. So maybe if you're confused by the look at this, if you're confused, should I get into a stock way up here when the MACD is way up here? Maybe you need to take that course. It's only $50. It's literally 90% off. It's the cheapest version that you're ever going to get. And you're going to get the exact same info that you get in anyone's swing trade course, but you're going to probably get just a little bit better stuff like how we talk about the MACD and the positioning of the MACD, because nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about thinking ahead, using your critical thinking and saying, hey, the fact that this MACD is right by the center line is great because if that goes positive, that means positive move. But if it was a little bit lower, that would be more difficult, and I have to keep that in mind, right? Saying things like that mean a lot, and we go pretty into it in the course. So AMC, let's go over those too. Let's go over those this morning, and then we'll look over at AVGO. Remember, AMC did cross down on the 30-minute. It was not able to confirm back up. We knew that this thing was going to be fought up towards $6. Remember, that is the line in the sand. That is the unexpected area. That is where the options market and the algorithms will be taken aback, taken by surprise. So if you want to see something crazy this week, you got to get above $6. We will have those. This is why I want you to turn notifications on and really just maybe even set a daily alarm on your phone or something like that. Like, oh, I'm going to watch Lucas's video every night at 7 because some people are saying they're not able to see my videos anymore, which is very interesting. But you can go into your subscriptions or go directly to my channel to see them. So just mark a time off for you. But we're going to give you the new level on Sunday. Yeah, it seems like it, Tom. So we'll see about this right here. Moving up or moving down, we'll see, right? And you're buying more today. Hey, I'd see if this 30-minute can really curl up, right? Because right now we're pointing down saying pullback, and you're not seeing a gap up or anything like that. So right now we could see this just base out and turn back up over time. Remember, if this is going to be more of a dramatic pullback, this 2-hour is going to cross over. The problem with this 2-hour, look where it is. It's pretty close to going negative. So this could be a moment where the fight continues. Not saying that has to happen. First things first, you got to pay attention to the 30-minute. Then if the 2-hour starts to cross over, you really want to see that 2-hour turn back up. As far as GME goes, you have a similar story. It's really telling you 30-minute pullback. This is what we were watching live. We were like, expect either to burst through and see something crazy above 29.91. Remember, that's the unexpected area. And or we're going to expect a fight near this area. And what do we get? Well, we got a fight near this area. And if you actually look at the data here, within 20 minutes, I think like millions and millions of dollars worth of calls were flushed at the same time. Most of the time when that does happen, since retail is really, wanting this thing to go crazy, you can pretty much guarantee that that's probably some short selling activity. So exactly, Tom. I was just like, yes, Tom. Oh, God. Don't care about daily price. That's awesome, RuneScape Killer. I think that's great. And that's something we encourage a lot in the swing trading course, actually, is to say, it is good to take a step back and look at these things from the daily scale. And if you look at the daily scale here for GME, it looks fantastic. This is literally, we use this to teach you guys a little bit about swing trading in the course. We use GameStop because this is exactly what you're looking for right here. right here. This is it. So, like, these are the looks that you want. This type of look on the MACD, on the RSI, on price action. So AMC, a little bit the same, right? This is the look that you want. It's just a little bit thinner. That's why it's a little bit rough. But that just means, hey, if you think about it from AMC perspective, that just means price is still tight in this area and it's waiting to let loose in one of these directions. So we'll pay attention. It's still holding the 9. Anytime once we take back that 20, and I think this might be happening too, where we see options expiration on Friday, and then all those options expire worthless, and then we start to see a little tick up here on Friday, and then that thing just goes through the roof next Monday. So I'll be paying attention to this pretty closely, but good morning, everyone. Good morning. Things are open. Let's watch this dead cat bounce together and see if it can turn into a full-fledged reversal. Looks like we're seeing the QC a pretty solid bounce. Notice this too, it gapped back above. So this is what's important about stock market behavior that you'll start to see once you trade for a long time. If we are going to hold this level, this is a great way to do it. This is a great way to do it. You gap above that area, then you go. Like, that would be the overall look. As you start to give that up, you're like, oof, not the best anymore, right? A lot of the time you'll see these gap ups to that area, and if it can fight through early on in the day, that's a good sign that you're going to see a solid move. As of right now, not curled up on the MACD, not across the center line on the RSI, but if you do get a green bar here, there might be a swing trade to be had, and then you can play that daily expected move, right? So we'll pay attention to this going forward. If you do cross up right here, it's a good shot that you're going towards that daily expected move, and then we'll see if that holds as resistance or if we're going to see some kind of cup and handle to head higher. I like daily ranges for NVIDIA. We don't have a daily ranges for NVIDIA. You can't make daily ranges for NVIDIA because it doesn't have an expiration today. You need an expiration date to make those, but we will have those for Friday. Okay, so on Patreon, we will be posting those to Patreon with NVIDIA's daily expected moves. But as we look forward, mainly what you want to read into is what's happening on the MACD, what's happening on your indicators, what's happening in the price action. Right now, you're trying to take back the 9 on the 30-minute, and you're trying to take back the 20 on the 30-minute. That is a great sign for some kind of bounce. Now we just want to see if at any time, which remember this 125 level has proven to be some pretty good support, now it can turn into resistance, and then we want to see if that fades back down to create the stronger base. We really want to see some stronger bases here to see upward moves, because as you can see, the stock market is green. As we can also see, the dollar is green, and we're seeing some reversal signals here, right? We're seeing the 4-hour create this divergence here that could mean the rocket ship's about to take off for the dollar. And I just wanted to point that out to you guys today. We do have these divergences. It's a little bit far away from positive territory, but it's pretty damn significant. So we could just see one dead cat bounce and then things start to escalate. Keeping your eye very closely here on the volatility. If that curls up on the 30-minute at any time, at the same time that maybe the SPY's reaching a daily expected move, that would be very interesting. So I just want to keep being aware. If I kind of treat it like I'm trading and you guys aren't even here and I'm trying to stay aware of these things, because that's what I do while I trade. I really am active trying to keep track of everything. I'm going to do that and try to voice my thoughts throughout. Now, I believe someone wanted to look at AVGO. Let's go look at, that's C, AVGO. Let's go look at Broadcom real quick. Noticing the same thing, okay? So we see this really dropping off here, really dropping off, and now you have the opportunity for a dead cat bounce. That's what I would say. So when you take the swing trading course, we do discuss the position of where that MACD is. The RSI more so can just hold at a level and oversold, but the MACD can dip really, really low. Here you're really low. So do you see how much work it is going to take to get back into a positive trend? It's going to take a lot. So most likely you need a stronger base that gives you a divergence, which is where the second course comes in, not the swing trading course. We talk about divergences in the other course. That's just a little bit more in depth to trade in any kind of market, pretty much anything you need to know to trade in any market. And you'll see some kind of divergence here. That would be more likely to then go positive if it gets a little closer. So I think we have a good shot to do something like this over time, and if we can really create that, then we could see a solid bounce from AVGO. Now you can fully recover, it just would be totally V-shape, and we don't necessarily want to say like, oh, this is a great trade setup. What you'd want to more so do is look on daily scales and things like that, see if you have any swing trades setting up for yourself, right? So if you're swing trading, you can look at these daily scales and just be like, all right, I'm being patient. And if you're trying to trade a little bit more close into it, maybe doing options or something like that, then you'd want to be like, okay, I'm waiting for a stronger base here. Even though this might bounce, it could just go little bit sideways even for a bit and then drop back down and give me that divergence. In your opinion, what makes people panic and sell without any news or anything on the stock? So actually, weirdly enough, and I know this isn't what you're talking about, but weirdly enough, most of the time when you see dramatic selling, it actually, those sellers are being piled on once the initial selling has happened. Okay, so this right here is, say, institution selling, say the market maker rigging stuff, right? Say that, all those things. These are the big boys because of the big gap, right? But really, the people who sell their stocks usually come in after that. Right? So a lot of the time, if you really want to talk about this, a lot of the time what ends up happening in the stock market with pretty much any stock is this selling all throughout here can be a little bit of individual people, but for the most part, the selling in these type of moves is going to be institutions and things like that, people with bigger money to play with. It's not until usually right around this, say this bar. This is actually where retail is known to sell the most. This wick right here is where retail is known to sell the most. This little wick right here is where retail is known to sell the most. So your question, I like your question. I'm just trying to think of it in a different way, if that makes sense. Okay, most of the time, if you see a major top, and you see that thing crashing down dramatically, retail is not able to catch up until you're going to see a bounce. So if you wanted to even break this down into a daily time frame and look at that same area, I'm going to tell you the times where retail really thought the stock market was going to go down. All right, retail really thought the stock market was going to go down right here. Retail really thought the stock market was going to go down right here, and then it started to come back and they go, oh, definitely this time, and it bounces up. Retail definitely thought the stock market was going to keep going down right here. It goes up. Retail definitely thought the stock market was going to keep going down here. It goes up. It is literally to a T. It is literally to a T. In these areas, you're going to see very high retail puts. That's just the truth of it. And then the market bounces. So what that other course does, not the swing trading course, this is the type of market that the how to trade in any market course, the option strategy course, the divergences, the weekly ranges. This is the market you want to have that course in your brain. I'm just being genuine about that, because if you can learn that to a T right now before, and not, maybe you don't even use it for trading, but you just really study it, once you go into a time where volatility is higher, you won't be a part of that retail crowd that's getting hurt, that's getting over bearish at certain levels. You're going to get to these levels, see that it's outside of a weekly move, see that it has some form of divergence, and then play that little bounce, and then you're going to see the double top up towards a weekly expected move, and then you're going to say this thing's going to rip down, and then you're not even going to play this one because, ooh, big rigged move, but then it drops down again, and it gives you another option there for a double bottom, and you say, okay, that's a great trade, and then you say, oh, we're taking back the 200, but I'm outside of a weekly expected move, and I have 2 hour divergence, boom, that crashes back down. So that is what this is set up to do. This is something that I've learned, and I used it during the bear market, and I think I only had one losing trade, and my losing trade was right over here towards the bottom. And that's because I overall thought that during this time we were going to see a more dramatic downturn, and I thought these divergences might not play out. Maybe we'd get one that's closer to there. This was the only losing trade I had during the bear market, and I'm being genuine about that. That's why I say it's like, if you have volatility high, literally the success rate of that little option strategy that I give you in the $100, well, I guess it's $100 right now. I still need to change everything, but God, too much going on. But that course will be very beneficial, and it pretty much has like about an 80% success rate. Cup and handle on AMC, let's go check that out real quick. I know we wanted to talk about that, and I hope that, Robert, in some way that was helpful. But more so when you see selling, if you just want a basic answer from me about that, is more so if you see dramatic selling from retail all of a sudden, it's some kind of emotional reaction. And when you get an emotional reaction, most of the time, you're probably going to see the market makers use that against them. But that's more like, I know the question you asked me, but I wanted to give a very good answer. And also, is Jacob in here? I need to email Jacob. Jacob was having a hard time logging into his Teachable, so I need to make sure to message him back again. He just messaged me again this morning. Let's go check it out. Okay, here it is. Can I like go into this? I just can't help with that type of problem. Like login issues, I can't help with login issues or anything like that. Kind of sucks, but it's like that's all on their end. So usually if you do have a problem logging into the course or something like that, or like the course won't load, you need to message Teachable. It doesn't happen terribly often, but it does happen. It even happens to me. Sometimes I have to, reload my page, or, make sure I'm using Chrome, not Safari or something like that. Safari sometimes does have problems, but all right, well, we might have to just get to that in a little bit. As of right now, AMC dropping down on the 30 minutes, still in pullback mode. We'll see if this can turn back up by the end of the day. That's all we want to read into. We want to say this, should we, okay, here's a good way to put it. It's like, okay, so if I saw this type of thing happening, should I just go long right now? Right, since we're trying to learn here, should I just go long right now? With this look? Does this look like a long play? I know, Dr. Z4, I'm so sorry. Don't go long. Exactly. Because what is telling you to go long here? Nothing's telling you to go long here. Some stuff was telling you to go long down here, but nothing's telling you to go long here. So now that we have seen selling ramp up, you can get retail to sell, Robert, right? Once you see that ramp up, that's when retail starts to get emotional, starts to get scared. Which in this case, I would actually agree if you were, treating this as a regular stock and it being genuine in this move down, well, then you would say that is going to be a pullback, and you are technically in a pullback right now. So that makes sense. Things are behaving pretty normally. But can we see that rotate back around? Once it rotates, that's when I know, hey, I have some reasons to take the trade at that point. Not at all, no. See, I love that people are saying the good end. I love it. AMC has even more to correct, and it very well could. You have a 2-hour that's crossing over now. Remember, we said pay attention to that. GME, you have a 2-hour that's crossing over now. So, like, if you really thought about it, does any of this add up to like, oh yeah, this is definitely looking like the stock's gonna go up? Not necessarily. Now, crazy things do happen where you gap up and things like that. So I just have a longer out trade always on the table for it. But overall, am I going to be saying, oh, I'm going to put a bunch of money behind this for tomorrow? Well, everything's telling me that tomorrow is going to be a pullback day. So that's just more so how you want to read into these indicators. You just really want to look at this MACD and say, what's it telling me right now? It's telling me pullback. What was it telling me right here when we mentioned it, the divergence there and everything? What did it tell you right there on that bar? It said potential for upside. That's the swing trade that we're going to play. And guess what? This is actually what we're going to teach you over the weekend. Literally, GME did it. It curled up, and then it went up towards a weekly expected move. That is fantastic. That's what we're going to teach you about a little bit more over the weekend. In that swing trading course, we are going to add it there. Okay, looks good. AMD is ripping and NVIDIA's dying? No way, dude. Oh, AMD is ripping down again. That would not be a good sign. Holy fuck. Holy shit, that's not good. Now, this could be causing some kind of reaction. We more so just want to see if this still bounces. I know that's crazy to say, and we can't see further downside here, but you do have a 30-minute that's cooked. It's trying to bounce. Maybe we just needed to make that stronger base. So let's look at a 15-minute, see if we make a 15-minute divergence, right? Maybe AMD needs to make a 15-minute divergence. You see divergence all along this on the RSI, but you're going to see that in oversold territory. We see that this is obviously some kind of, I would say, call squeeze. I think a lot of people probably are trying to buy calls on this for some kind of rip higher because that's what they've gotten us addicted to. So that literally could be all the bounce you get. Now, I think there's more potential than that. I really do. I think there is. But you did see that dollar moving higher, right? We saw the dollar moving higher. We see volatility. If that can turn up on the 30-minute, that's going to be a big deal. So we have to pay attention to a lot of things today. This is the market that I more enjoy, a more wild market. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm genuine about that. It can be hard to figure out at times, but if you're patient, you wait for good setups, you can see great moves. So I'm highly encouraging you, as volatility goes up, to start to more so look for those divergences before taking plays, right? Get out towards weekly ranges and things like that, because especially if you're starting to see some reversal signals in the other direction, you really want to be taking profit in things because you're going to see big moves, right? You can't tell me that this move from NVIDIA wasn't big, right? Do you think volatility is back? We just got what percentage was this bar overall from the bottom here? We just got a 4% move in the first 15 minutes of the day. So this is the market that is going to be a lot of fun for someone who's traded for a long time and knows a lot about how these things flow. I can look at things like this and notice I'm not trying to play the bounce. I'm not trying to do anything with the bounce. That's because I don't have any signals down here. The higher potential thing is we still bounce up, and I'm being genuine about that. We might have a gap, fill, and go, because this is what could freak people out and say, see, it's coming down again, it's crashing down again, short NVIDIA. And then once those shorts pile up, we could see that go up. Let's see the PCC. Actually, a lot of calls coming in, so we could just keep dropping, right? A lot of calls coming in. So they don't want those to pay out, so we could just keep dropping here. IWM, SPY. Let's look at the Dow. Dow really trying to top out here, I think. Not a reason to take a trade, I think. So now what could Apple be doing? Apple could be making a stronger base. So let's look at what Apple could be doing here. You really probably wanted to get down to this level. Okay, so if we wanted to get a good support line here, I would say it's right there. Let's make this thing white so we don't think it's a weekly range. Okay, I think this level, you see this tiny little touch almost right here. We see the resistance around that area. We kind of break through, we retest that area. So this here, this little wick could be important, and maybe this creates a 15-minute divergence, right? We go create that 15-minute divergence right there. We can go check on my other charts for you Patreon members out there if that would be outside of a weekly expected move. I believe it is. Oh, I gotta change my charts around, damn it. Gosh, Luke, be prepared. All right, so if we headed down to that level, you actually would not be out of the weekly expected move yet. Isn't that crazy to think about? But this is something I would really pay attention to here, because that looks like a very important level. Your weekly expected move is actually down towards these lows over here. So if you wanted to see a dramatic move, it's there. That's why you really want to pay attention. If this 15-minute rolls over, it could not set this up, guys. This is a scenario to pay attention to and react if it happens. If this crosses down, if that crosses down, this could just go boom. It could. Now, I think the more likely scenario is you're going to see this, and we're actually going to see a more sustainable dead cat bounce that maybe sets up a lower high to give you this left head and right shoulder, more solidified right shoulder. I think that looks like the biggest and best scenario to me as of right now. Okay, what do you guys want to look at? I had a friend tell me to buy ONCO, so I bought 5,000 shares for 0.18 yesterday, and now it's up to 0.33. That's crazy. That's a great return there. I bet you're a little happy about that. IWM, we can go over that as well. So IWM, let me make sure. I believe this is the correct weekly expected moves. I need to double check on this real quick. Damn it. Yeah, these are the weekly expected moves for IWM. So IWM is experiencing something crazy. Now for IWM, the 30-minute is crossed down. So this is where you can see reversals. We talked about the divergence up here, how most likely IWM is going to see a pullback, maybe to go test that weekly expected move where we gapped above. Look at that. You guys don't think this stuff happens on purpose. They gap above this area because they know sellers are lurking here or sell orders might be lurking there. What do? They immediately put those up, they gap above those and send the stock higher so the algorithm can kick in and say, hey, something crazy is happening here. So this is what you wanted from GME. You wanted it to do something like this and then see something crazy. And then you see the divergences outside of here telling you there will be a pullback, and now you're just waiting for that MACD to curl up at any time. Now the key thing here will be tomorrow, if this 30-minute is able to base out and then curl up, that would be a solid trade, but tomorrow you're going to really want to pay attention to where that daily expected move is and see if it can get up there or outside of it, or maybe it's matching the high. So at this point, IWM looking like a bigger pullback is happening here on the 30-minute. See if that curls up. Because it's curled down for quite some time, though, you might be getting the 2-hour to start to cross over, which tells you overall there is a 2-hour pullback coming. Now, at this area, there still is good likelihood to do this, okay? Remember, a lot of the time, it's not just crossover and everything's dandy and it just goes. It does happen, but a lot of the time you'll see, oh, it's crossing over, everyone buy your puts, and then they send it higher to get everyone to close out of those, and then the stock goes lower. So watch out for a rigged move, but you are getting a 2-hour signal that you're seeing a 2-hour pullback on IWM. Which makes sense why AMC is giving you that signal, GME is giving you that signal. So, cool stuff. I like it. A fun market today. A path. Oh, let's look at path real quick because that's our Kathy Wood play. Kathy Wood's play. I wonder if she's able to build back some money now. Let's see. Well, she went through a pretty dang big loss, 34%. So she's still fairly underwater here, guys. What we want to pay attention to here is you notice that the daily scale getting up towards that center line. This looks like flagging. This can head lower. Just so you're aware, you move sideways, you're out of those oversold conditions, you're up towards the center line. So if you start to see red bars like this cut below this low, good shot you're going to head lower. How low can that go? Well, we've never seen it, but maybe you could head down towards 1039 to start, see some kind of small divergence here. That would be nice for the stock, and you do have volatility higher, so it could see a solid bounce from that little daily divergence there. Pay attention to it, but that's what it looks like to me as of right now. If we're looking at the 2-hour though, that thing is positive. If that thing rolls over, that's when you say, okay, I got a good shot that that daily is going to give up. And I just want to pay attention to this for a little bit, see if a divergence forms here, or if we're going to actually head lower towards that 1029, 1039 level, and then see a daily divergence. So 2 things to pay attention to, I think, is that 2-hour rolling over or the daily rolling over. And then to the plus side, okay, we always give the bullish take as well. The 30-minute just curls back up into positive territory. We can see a little bit more upward price action for the time being. You did have some flat divergences up here as well. AA, we can look at that one real quick. Why did I think that was American Airlines? Right now, AA actually giving you a triple divergence. Okay, triple divergence on the 30-minute, which can rotate up the 2-hour chart. You see how we're going like this. We're still holding that tapering for the most part right there. Awesome look to it. We have these divergences across the way. You even have a flat divergence here giving you that triple divergence. You see it across the RSI down there, how this is just this point right here is a little bit lower. So that tells me there is divergence here. I have to see if that can close a little bit higher up, cross up on this MACD. It hasn't confirmed yet, but you do have the divergence, so you want to be ready to react. That 30-minute crosses up, you have a good shot now to curl up this 2-hour. Now that 2-hour is pretty negative, okay? That's pretty down there, so you might not see another move like this. It might just be one to go retest an important area like this 3861. You see that little area right there, pretty damn important. Breakout area there. We had resistance near there. We had support near there. We had support. God dang, hiccups. We had support near there, and we had resistance there again right here. So look for that point if you're able to break through. But for now, you would say the 2 hour could see a sustainable bounce. If it gets through there, well, then we want to look for maybe a retag of some moving averages and then see if we get a reversal signal on the 30-minute here for AA. Microsoft is melting. Let's go look at Microsoft real quick and notice that this is going to see some kind of turnaround at some point, but when is that turnaround going to be? Well, we might need to create divergences first. So let's actually look at a 15-minute too and see how this can still head lower. Actually, it still can head lower, but maybe that's brief and we actually see things start to turn around. We'll find out. Remember, the dollar is climbing right now. The dollar is climbing dramatically, so this could just be completely reversing around. That might be all the rigged move that you get as far as these SPY and the Qs go, right? Bouncing up this high might be all you get. You first have to get back above that weekly expected move, and we haven't seen that yet. So you're still trying to hold these levels, but you really need to retake that if we're going to see a bounce here up towards that daily expected move. Right now, you're just rejecting off of that resistance of the weekly expected move. Very, very cool. Later, Steve. Have a good day, man. What is Sava? Okay, making a 2 hour double bottom here. You see the divergence. You see this is kind of what I'm talking about here. You want to see looks like this that can then turn around and prove themselves, get above these moving averages, and then you see how that can really go positive here for Sava. So very interesting stock, very low on the daily MACD. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. This could just retest the 20 EMA. This could go retest the 50 SMA and then just turn right back around because you are very negative here. But you do have some potential bouncing signals if that 2 hour can rotate back up. Reversal on AMC and GME. Let's go look at those real quick. Let's see if we're actually reversing around or if we're getting a little too excited. It's fine to be excited, guys. The stock market is fun most of the time. I would say in the recent years, it's been a little less fun, right? It's been a little bit more difficult, which if you like difficult like me, it's still a fun thing. So you got to see if that 30-minute can rotate around, but it is wicking up. I think that's a good sign. GME starting to see these wicks. That is a good sign. Maybe we do see that breakthrough. We just want to see if that 30-minute can curl up today. I think that would be a great, great sign to signal to pay attention to for AMC and GME. All right, I got to drink some coffee. I'm yawning. What the hell? Oh, God, sorry. It's more fun in my company. Hey, that's very nice to say. That's very sweet. I'm glad that we found like a good community here where people can join, people can subscribe, people can like the videos, and we can keep growing. And it seems like we keep finding more and more new cool people, and I really like that. Now, one that I really want to keep my eye on is still DJT. I want to see if this thing can curl up into positive territory. It looks like it tried. But you do have a bunch of stuff going on here, but you're really flattening out. This is a great look for a swing trade if it's going to prove itself. It still has to prove all the signals in order for you to really get in on the trade. If you need to understand how to get into a trade like this after a big beatdown, well, then you need to take that course that's in the description. It's only $50. It's very, very good for swing trading. Makes the day go by faster. That's good. It makes my day go by faster because usually I'm just like watching a YouTube video or something, like just watching random stuff and trading stocks. You guys would think like, oh, Lucas probably just pays attention to the news at all times. No, I just sometimes when I'm trading, I just like listen to tunes. No science minded. I'm still working on your course, so not my fault yet. Okay. You can take accountability once you have the info, right? All right. Thank you, Cannon, for saying that. That's very, very nice. Don't know JD Vance will actually address the shorting manipulation in the market. I heard JD Vance wrote a letter in the past to the SEC. Well, it just depends on what they're going to do with all these agencies, with all these government agencies. Because as of right now, you have a problem across the board. You have, as of today, the SEC trying to back the company that shorted DJT and Rumble right before the assassination attempt. So they're trying to save them and say, oh, it was just a filing mistake. They didn't actually do that. I bet money if the previous president was assassinated that most likely nothing would have been said. They would have made a bunch of money and it would have been on purpose. So I think that you're going to see something really turn around in the world of politics, and we're going to see a lot of changes implemented, a lot, especially when it comes to these agencies, SEC, when it comes to these agencies, even the IRS. I think you're going to see it with the FBI, the CIA. I think you're going to see it with all of them. I think you're going to see all of them really try to get the corruption out of those, and I think that's awesome. IWN. Do you mean this one? The value ETF? You want to pay similar things as the IWM. It held up pretty good. See if that's able to cross up. You're getting some swing trade signals here. I would just more so like to look at the IWM for this and see that strong bar. That's a great sign there. Wanted to buy you half a cup of coffee. I really appreciate that. I'll go get half of a cup of coffee, spicy avocado. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Really appreciate it. That's so awesome. That's so funny. But this is kind of a swing trade signal right now. You did get a little bit of a pullback here. Now you're starting to bounce up. So IWM actually can see some positivity, which when you see this type of look here and IWM could keep seeing something crazy, well, that means what if this thing just keeps going up and you don't curl over that 2 hour? Look, that what we were talking about a second ago is proving itself. Maybe IWM makes one more upward move, and then we'll have to see if it's going to continue to see something crazy or make that reversal signal. Pretty crazy, right? How we can read into stocks very well just by saying, how could they fake us out, right? Instead of just saying, what do the signals look like? We're like, what do the signals look like? But what could they do to fake us out? Very cool. Now AMC, that means we could get some bouncing from AMC and GME to maybe create a divergence up here. So watch out if, and there it is, Spicy Avocado. Thank you so much for the $2 there. If this does want to go up, you notice that we would create a divergence for GME at these highs. So I would pay attention to that. But if IWM is saying we're still going to do something crazy, what if GME and AMC did do something crazy on Friday? We'll pay attention to that. So how's Tesla looking? Tesla over here up 1.4%. This one actually looked like a solid pullback. It looked like it had that tapering. It didn't look as dramatic, and you're closer to the center line. So this can be read into a little bit here. See if that 30-minute can really cross up and go positive. Look at that. It's crossing up. It's above the center line for the RSI. You're above the 200. You're above the 9 and the 20. So all of this looks pretty good. And then you want to see the major signal here, but this is the first inclination on the 30-minute that this could happen. So I'd understand getting in early or something like that. If you've taken the swing trading course, you might like the look at this on the shorter time frame, but you just really want to manage that trade, because if it needs a stronger base, you can rotate up, rotate down, and then see this go up, and then this would actually be the time that that 2 hour is going to roll back around. But it looks like Tesla could see some positive price action here according to the 30 minutes. So we'll pay attention to it, especially if it can go positive. That's very key. What it do, baby boo? Kind of wish I didn't say that. I feel like my wife could hear me, and it's because the door's open today. A little embarrassed about it. Nvidia starting to go back up. So like I said, a lot of the time they want to, oh no, it's going to fall back down. It's going to fall through the floor. Buy those puts. Oh, and then it turns right back around. We're noticing, hey, this is starting to tick up a little bit, but a lot of calls still in the market. We have options expiration tomorrow, so we'll see what happens from here. Curling up on the SPY on the 30-minute. Now we can directly see if we can target that daily expected move. If this is actually able to complete, you have about 26 minutes left in the bar. The Qs trying to, but being a little bit weaker. So we'll pay attention to it, but you are getting that curl up. I just think you do have potential to do something like this and maybe even create that lower or higher low. We'll see, but we really just want to see if this curls down at any time now that it is curling up. Palantir's running a little bit. Ooh, Palantir, look at that. So you see these ones that are closer to the center line, seeing some solid moves here. Great move. Technically, you would say, ooh, that was almost, this was so close to being the swing trade signal, but unfortunately this one here is. So since you have no real divergence, that really sent this lower actually on the 30-minute. We're seeing not even an even divergence here. no divergence up here. So maybe we go make that right now. Maybe we make a point of divergence right now. And then we can also look at a 2 hour, see what that looks like. Hey, that thing could rotate up. That one did have divergence. So this could just be a 30-minute roll up, a 30-minute roll right back down. So this is, you know, times where you just kind of zoom out. And that's why I think the swing trading course is great, because it puts your mind, even if you've been trading for a long time, it's great because it gets you more in a simpler style of thinking and really just going, let me zoom out on this, right? Let me look at this from a daily perspective. Is this what I want to see for a solid swing trade to the upside on the daily scale? Not at all. So there is potential as you are way up here, since this is like the complete opposite of a good swing trade right now. This is the complete opposite. You want to say, hey, maybe I just am patient, right? I'm patient. I see that thing pull down and then I see it rotate back up. And then I say, okay, now we're going to see another upside move. I think you have potential still for this to maybe even drop before earnings, right? Drop before earnings. And then around earnings, we see that second move higher. We'll see. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. Let me see here, both green candles are vector candles, meaning market makers are closing longs and opening shorts. Yeah, I think that could possibly be what's happening here, is you're seeing just one more move up, and that's why I want to zoom out to that bigger perspective. Now this is like the opposite of what Robert was talking about earlier. Remember how it was everyone sell on retail? A lot of the time you'll see everyone selling here, and then the institutions or market makers rig the stock market to move higher, and this stock goes higher, and right when all the retail starts to pile in up here, then you can start to see that fade. So we'll pay attention to that. You do have weekly expected moves for Palantir, so I can go check on that real quick. I believe it's up towards it right now. Yeah, so you could make a move all the way towards 29.69, and then that would be pretty much the perfect rigged area in that spot. So pay attention. You might be creating a little divergence right here right now up towards 29.69. GME and AMC just went positive, by the way. Just so you're aware, AMC going positive here. We'll see if that can turn up. GME turning positive a little bit here, so we'll see if that thing could turn up. Looks like it's going kind of negative and positive, sitting pretty much even right now for GME. Chewy, let's look at Chewy. I know some people were talking about that a little bit this morning. Seeing that curl up on the 30 minutes. So that is a great sign. You got the pullback. You did have reversal signals here. So the fact that you had reversal signals, now you have a 30-minute curling up. You want to see if that rotates down at any time. You're still very close to the center line, but that is higher probability for an upside move. The 2 hour curled down. So it looks like that thing could just turn right back up. We'll see what happens from here. But if we're going to see an overall pullback, that still makes sense according to the 2 hour. So as of right now, the 30-minute, bullish. That is a bullish swing trade. You're using that 200 on the 30-minute to head higher. You close above all the moving averages. This is a fantastic little setup for the 30-minute, but that's just the thing to keep in your brain. This is a 30-minute, so you can see this just go up. Oh, right. So pay attention if any kind of divergence is made up here. If we're going to see something crazy, most likely this 30-minute just doesn't curl back down. You're getting really close to Friday's expiration. I'm still learning, at least. That wasn't a lot lesson learned. Awesome, Josh. And I was reading a little bit about that, but Josh, anytime someone in my channel just says, hey, lesson learned, and I was, maybe you even said like, at least it wasn't a lot, that's great. That means one, you're managing your amounts that you're putting in, and two, you're acknowledging that, hey, I learned my lesson, meaning you're taking accountability, and I love to fucking see it. I love it. I'm in at 164 on AMD. Now, this is still one to pay attention to. I'm not going to say this isn't a decent one to pay attention to. You're still trying to stay within that tapering, and we'll see what happens from here as the SPY and the Qs start to turn up. NVIDIA starts to turn up, right? On these 30-minute charts, you can see these things start to bounce. So AMD still has potential, but it's just not giving that overall signal to take upside yet, right? You need this to close up here to at least bounce. And then I would say, you know, we really need to make a stronger base for that to happen. And really in this area, you could do this drop, you could make triple divergence before you actually bounce. You want to see that coiling up of price. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Scott. That's unfortunate. Should silver catch up to gold? Gold's making that solid move, solid swing trade on gold. Let's see if silver's giving you some kind of setup here. Well, dropping down dramatically here, able to break through, head and shoulders on the table. So now you could see a reaction to test that breakout area down up towards, I'd say, 27, 28, anywhere in those two. And then we'll see if that's able to drop down. Look out for some kind of divergence. But as of right now, we'll zoom out, look at a bigger time frame. If that 2 hour can curl up, get above these moving averages, that would be a good sign that this might have been a fake out and you actually can head higher. So we gave you 1 on the 30 minutes. Pay attention to rejection for some bad things to happen. Obviously, if this thing just doesn't curl up and see strength on that 30 minute, not a good sign. But if that 2 hour can really rotate up, you can see some good price action. The good part about silver was it gave us the divergence, okay? It gave us the divergence right there. It crossed over on this green bar, made another move up. Risk management came in with your 30 minute if you tried to short this, and then risk management told you that this thing's probably heading back down. So as we go into a 30 minute, you would see that this bar right here told you were crossing to the downside. We head lower. Now we're trying to bounce back. Maybe we need to make that stronger base before the 30 minute even crosses, right? Maybe the 15 minute wants to cross down and make some kind of stronger base, right? Give us a double bottom or something like that. But as far as it goes with silver, we really just want to look at the daily scale and see how that's trying to roll down, while gold is actually remaining pretty strong. Gold had a great swing trade. So these do look completely different. You can see crazy moves, but as of right now, gold didn't show you the same signals as silver, so we have to treat them a little differently. Gold actually told you right on this bar right here that it was a swing trade to the upside, so it looked very, very clean here from gold. I made on Sava 1500, thanks. I tried to tell you all. Hey, that's fine. You can come in and say it. It's just we're going to more so treat this channel as a way to learn. We can learn from these, and then you guys make your decisions. But Jim Fury, thank you so much for subscribing this morning. And thank you for telling us about it, Steve. We love looking at those stocks. We love looking at some other stuff that we don't pay attention to every single day. GME now up 1% here. Still I would even pay attention to a 15 minute. I'm being genuine about that. You're still within range here of going positive. So I'd still even pay attention to a 15 minute and then see what happens from here on out. Just don't expect this to have to break through 29.91 if this curls up, right? We could see a fight at this area just like we did over here. So we're paying attention to it. AMC, we're seeing that close to the center line on 15. GME, we're seeing that pretty close to the center line on a 15. So if we keep seeing positivity here, if that can roll up and go positive, that would be a good sign for these. My baby girl tried an avocado. Palantir, and this is the other thing as well, like Palantir could be seeing something crazy as well because of a short seller problem. I don't know with Palantir if this has a short seller problem in it, but you would say I'm just paying attention to the signals. If it does have a short seller problem, this 30 minutes never going to rotate back down. But the target for now is 29.69. Right up in this area, that's pretty much where the target is. And if that reacts from there, you got to say, oh, that's going to give me some form of divergence here, and I might just curl down on that 2 hour. So hopefully that's helpful. And my headphones are working today. So, Daddy gonna play some music. I don't know if today's a big booty kind of day, you know? Ooh, Taking Back Sunday, make damn sure. Let's fucking go. New heart filled up with smoke. Yeah, let's look at Lulu. Or no, I would not mind. This is the 2 hour divergences. Okay, so the main thing with Lulu to point out was the 2 hour divergence right here that ended up confirming, which tells you there's weakness in momentum, good base, and you can see some kind of bounce. So now you want to see if that daily is able to turn around. It is. It is. Now, you do have divergence at the lows here, so that's a good sign for this to actually make an upward move. But for the most part, you want to say, okay, I know where this MACD is. It is negative. It's not super negative, but it is negative. So I have to manage this trade closely. AKA, if this 2 hour rolls down at any time, that would be rolling into negative territory. As it goes positive, you can feel better about it, but you need that daily to really confirm those upward moves by keeping going forward, keep going up, because this could just be another reaction to the 50 like we did right here, and then you compile up one more time. You are so cruel. There's a day to pass the bread. You are red. So you see how that 50 lies right at the trend? Then you want to more so go like this. And this is what you want to see. You want to see it getting tight. All right, this is good, but you can't get a reaction and then get that to drop again. If you start to break through that, that'd be a great sign. But this tells you, hey, all the swing trade signals are almost there. You just need this RSI to get above that center line. You're below the 200, so you have to manage it very closely here. You're welcome, Mike. Thank you for asking. Yeah, don't be scared to ask, guys. Seriously. I'm trying not to be like other YouTubers. I want to give you guys as much good intel as I can. I'm here to help the retail traders. I really am. That's all I want to do. Scalp Tesla. Tesla breaking out. I'm gonna make damn sure that you can never leave. No, you won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far from me. You make damn. Okay. So, yes, Tesla's doing what we were talking about a second ago, taking back all the moving averages, getting above on the RSI, curling up above, or getting you that green bar in the MACD. This looks like a swing trade to the upside, but it is on a 30-minute chart. So you have to manage the risk and then wait and see if this 2-hour can really curl up, not the 30-minute rollover to create the stronger base or anything like that. You want to see this 2-hour to curl up on this MACD. It's above the center line for the RSI. All of this looks pretty good. You have 2 reasons to take a trade here. You're waiting on the third, but people will front run. We talk about front running in the course as well, and we tell you how you can actually do that and what mindset you need to have in order to do that. Yes, we can. We'll check on that for you. Tesla looks like a swing trade to the upside. I bet you if we pull up an hourly, look at that. You're curling up right by the center line. This is pretty much all of the signals for a swing trade right here. So now that is just a probable move. You have to be aware of how to manage your risk, okay? So we have to be aware of if these things turn down, we need to not be in these plays, right? That's what we'd overall say when looking at this stuff. Let me look at the Dow real quick, because the Dow was looking like it was topping out, man. And it just breaks through again. Look at that, breaking through again. So you're just remaining overbought for quite some time here. I'm really worried about this, to be genuine. I'm very worried. If I just zoom out on the daily scale, look at that thing. Look at that thing, man. But you can hold up at these higher levels. Look at the last time we went sideways and went up, but eventually this is just not going to be a good thing. I'll just say she's mighty fine. We've been higher up than this before in the past. Weirdly enough, on the RSI, we've been higher than this in the past. And the last time that happened, we had a rug freaking pull. So if we look at the last time this thing went berserk to the upside, look what happened shortly after. So just be careful, be careful. This is not a good time for investing in the Dow. This is at all-time highs. Buy low, sell high. This is high. It can keep going, but I'm just telling you, Frank, it's like, it's high. Roses are red, violets are blue. Out of Palantir just again, okay. Biden drops out of the race, market crashes like, oh, that's gonna be a horrible thing. No. I swear to God, I'll never fall in love. Amazon, let's look at Amazon real quick for you, real quick. Real quick. We have Mark Z and Mark T in here today. I love it. You know my ex, that makes it all feel complicated, yeah. All right. So for Amazon, Amazon gave you some key signals up here that we were going to see that pullback on the daily scale, right? So we're pulling back further. So we want to go into a 2-hour next, just see how that's looking. 2-hour getting deeper and deeper into negative territory. So now any bounce we get here, we have to treat it like, hey, this could be a lower high. And then the 30-minute, we want to look at that as well, because this 30-minute here is overall saying to me, hey, I'm pretty low. You have to be worried about a lower high for me as well. And what are we creating as of this morning? Well, we popped up, we popped back down. So we'll see. We might still get a sustained bounce like this to come fill a gap or something like that. And then you want to see if this rotates down. If it V-shapes, that'd be great. It just needs to get above into positive territory. But as you're pretty low here, very highly probable to see a lower high. I wouldn't say you have signals to short the Dow. I wouldn't say you have signals, but I would say that if you zoom out to a monthly scale and you look at this and you go, wow, if I took a short for say a year, I'll probably make money on that. That's how I would look at it. If you're talking about just like taking a random short or something like that. But it's not to say that, because more so I'm just reading into what these MACDs look like. And then I'm saying if the short opportunity is there, right? And it's not necessarily proving itself right now. So your indicators aren't proving that. Snow, we can look at Snow. We also teach you how to invest in that swing trading course. Which one are you trying to look at? Snow. Then I'll take a look at CVS. All right, Josh? Snow looking like it's trying to carve out a higher low. So this is a 30-minute divergence probably here. Yep, we have 30-minute divergence all across this. Seeing some negativity one more time. So this is where divergences don't have to play out. You got to manage that risk. But right now, this is a signal saying we could see a bounce. Now, what do we want to see here, though? We want to see that 2-hour curling up. That's what you're getting. But it's seeing some weakness here. So have you gotten all the signals for the swing trade? No, the RSI is not above the center line. You don't have anything above the 9 or anything. And the key thing is, on the whatever chart you're looking at, whatever time frame, you really want to see where that 200 is to know, like, do I need to manage this very, very closely? This is one you want to manage very, very closely. You're below the 200 and you're taking a positive move. If you're taking a negative move, hey, that's great, right? It's like, look at the negative move when you're below the 200. Fantastic. Whoop. But right now, this looks like you could see some kind of bounce up. You're just below the 200, so manage the trade. But this could unprove very quickly. So watch that 30-minute. That rotates down, no reason for upside. What was it? CVS. Health stock's been doing very, very well. Okay, so what you wanted to see here was you got the 2-hour trade. More so, this would be a 4-hour trade, I think. Looking at the 4-hour, curl up, positive territory, gets there. See if that's able to build up over time. And then you got to manage it closely because you're below the 200 on the 4-hour. Now, where are you at on the daily scale? What's happening here? Well, could the daily scale have given you some kind of swing trade? And the answer is, yeah, you got those swing trade signals. Now you're going up. You just want to manage it closely because you're below that 200. But you did make a higher low here. So you break through this, we can see that positivity maybe all the way up to the 200, maybe to fill this gap. $68. AMD is still sinking? 200, it might target that. 30-minute never curled up, guys. It didn't print, didn't post that little bar that tells you there's some kind of bounce happening. You're just heading lower and lower. You're just remaining oversold. Look at that, just flat remaining oversold. That's ugly. This is why it's like, AMD, you gotta be careful with it. You have a good chance for a reaction, but let's look closer. 15-minute, you could see a divergence here. You have divergence all across this, but you're way outside of the weekly expected move too. This is a risky one. Sava, it's still going. Now, does Sava, you got to tell me, do any of these things have short seller problems? I have to say that these days because people just ask about a stock and I have no idea. 2-hour, you really need this 2-hour to confirm. But you notice positivity is there. This is forming. If that confirms, you can see more upside than this. You can see more upside than probably this. You can probably head all the way up towards this area here. 1850 is what I'd really be looking at here if this sees a very good move. Okay, now what you're going to see, if this all starts to prove, what you're going to see is the daily be able to close. It's going to be able to close here, it's going to be able to close here, and it's going to be able to do that. Now, it's not going to do that, Most likely. Most likely it's like, right? Most likely it's like, right? It's not going to be up in one shot, but at least unless there's a short seller problem. But that too, make sure this is confirming, Steve. I think you've been here plenty, but the 2 hour needs to confirm this, okay? If this doesn't confirm, so if you're, like, say I'm in this trade. If I was in this trade, I know I'm below the 200. I know this hasn't confirmed. If I take it early, I need to watch this 30-minute. Because if this 30-minute curls up and curls down, that's not going to be a good sign, especially if it's negative. So if this goes like this and then curls right back down, right? We do this and curl right back down. That's not a good sign. What we want to see here is boom. You want to see boom, consolidate, boom, and then maybe retest and boom. You want to see that type of behavior here. We'll look at AMC and GME in one moment right after Lucid. We will look at those for you in 1 second. Just give me a second, okay, Avila? So what we're noticing here from Lucid is, what are we doing? Well, we're seeing big swings turn into medium swings, turn into small swings. So a big move is coming. And as of right now, you could be breaking through to the downside, right? If I just take a line like this and I go like this, ooh, you're testing that area right now. So really, you kind of have this little triangle here. And the main thing I want you to take away when you see this isn't like, oh, the expected move after it curls up and blah, blah, blah. Follow your signals. Well, and by expected move, I mean like the expected move from a triangle, from a continuation triangle. It is better to pay attention to the signals than to try to guess, because that's really what you're doing when even you use a estimated move, is you're kind of guessing how high that could go. You're getting an estimation. An estimation is not the real thing. So however high or low this wants to go is more so going to be decided by when these MACDs curl over. Now, the 30-minute is negative, really close to the center line. If that can curl up and break through this level, you have a good shot for some upward price action. And then you just want to see if that 30-minute is creating some reversal signals. That's what I would say for Lucid at this point. Now, as far as it goes, this has been elongated for some time, so you could probably just look at a 2 hour or maybe an hourly, actually. Hourly might be good. Yeah, hourly. And then you want to see if that can give you the swing trade. Swing trade course is down there in the description for 50 bucks. You can see this just curl up, get above those moving averages, curl up on the MACD, get above the center line on the RSI, and everything says this is pointing up. And then you want to watch out, because what if we do that, make a divergence? Even if this beats this high, what if we make that divergence? And then you end up getting something like this. Notice how far in the future I'm thinking. I'm always thinking in the future. If you're thinking right now or what already happened or this, then you're thinking too late. You need to think a little in the future to be like, how am I going to react if these things happen? How am I going to react if this curls up on an hourly MACD? How am I going to react if it curls down quickly? Am I going to get out? Am I going to manage my trade? You want to think about those things the whole way through. You're doing shorter time frames, so you have to think very quickly. But I hope that was overall helpful when it comes to Lucid. Now let's go check on AMC and GME. They did not confirm back up on these 30-minute charts. They did not. So we have to see, is this 2 hour able to cross over? It's not crossed over yet. So no 2 hour pullback, no 2 hour pullback as of right now. But this 30-minute, I would even say 15-minute needs to curl back up, right? We need these 15 minutes to curl up. They're very close to that center line. So 15-minute curl up would be nice. It looks like it's in pullback mode as far as it goes, Julius. It looks like on the 30-minute you are in pullback mode, but you're getting close to the center line. So this is when we want to see, is that going to rotate up? Is that going to rotate up today? Because that's key. If it doesn't rotate up today, then you're going to cross over this 2 hour, and then you're in a 2 hour pullback, which means you might have a pullback for a couple of days. All right. Yo, this is a bop right now. Ready? If I die young, bury me in sun, lay me down on a bed of roses. AMA, let's go. Oh, 2 hour divergence. Pretty decent here. Pretty decent 2 hour divergence. I know it's choppy bars, but that is a divergence right there. I was like, AMA. Choppy though, so daily side, divergence there. AMD though is what you meant, but we might as well look at this one. We already looked at all tech. So AMD just breaking down, crossing down on the daily as of yesterday. So that's the daily momentum taking over. So I didn't even notice that, but AMD is doing one of my rules. You guys know my rules. If you've taken some of my courses, you know some of my rules. One of my rules is if this daily MACD crosses down, I never take the opposite signal. I would never, if this is crossing down on a daily MACD, telling me daily momentum could be going down. So why would I fight against that? Because a 15-minute chart is curling up. So this is why I do not buy calls on a stock. This is one of my rules. I do not buy calls on a stock that just curled down on its MACD, no matter where it is. I do not take puts on a stock that is curled up on its MACD. And Maria, thank you so much for joining us today. So one of those examples would be GameStop, right here. There's no reason for me to take a short position, at least on this bar, right? Now it's flagging a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But as of right now, there's no reason right here. This is the opposite of that. I would never take shorts on a stock that just crossed up on a daily MACD. It's one of my rules. That's so unky. You probably... Yeah, I used to sing in front of like hundreds of people, man. Oh, I love music, man. No, I seriously do. I got told I should be on American Idol, but I got bullied when I was a kid and called in a fag for singing. And yeah, it made me very quiet. Now I'm like, damn it. I was so much cooler than I thought back then. I could sing, I could play soccer. It was something that I did in private all the time. My parents didn't even know I could sing until high school. But thank you for the compliment. That was very nice, Lizard. Is your name Lizzie? Lizzie the Lizard? I always used to want a lizard. I wanted one of those dragons. What's the SPY up to? Ooh, 15-minute. Look how the 15-minute gets close to positive. We might need to make a stronger base. This might be the fake out of the day. And I'm just going to tell you that right now. If we're going to see a rigged move up, this is how they would trick you. They would send it lower. And then everyone, you talk about retail. Robert was talking about retail a little bit this morning, why they sell. This would convince them to sell if you break down through this level, and then watch out if a divergence is created here. The reason I'm going to tell you that on the SPY right there, not by the weekly expected move, is because the Qs might make it down in this area, and it might be brief. This might be just up. Now we'll see. That doesn't have to happen, and the dollar is starting to scale up. Dollar's really scaling up, but if that's going to back off, we're going to see the market bounce in any way, then the Qs most likely do make some kind of divergence here. Just a quick one. Think I just started, because if you really look at it, you have this, then you have this, but you're kind of forming this right now. So you could just be tapering like this, and then maybe you taper like this, and then you start to go that way. Really got to pay attention to your signal here, because that 15-minute rolls over. You think about it from the daily side now. If this isn't created, how low can you go today? Holy crap, we could end up down towards 474. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy to me. Now, FFIE, a little bit of a different take here for FFIE, but if we look at this, I think it was on a 30-minute. Yeah, 30-minute, you're still waiting for that to curl back up. We haven't received that signal. So that's where you really want to pay attention. You didn't receive that signal yet. You guys back? Something got, maybe refresh the page real quick, guys, by the way, just in case. Right foot up, left foot slide. Watching it constantly go up. Yeah, Kyle. So as far as AMD goes, looks like a lot of people playing AMD. This never confirmed up. That's why I trust 30-minute cross-ups better. But the 15-minute crossing down here, I'm just telling you right now, this is remaining oversold for a long time. Even a divergence here, you don't have to do anything unless we're just going to see a crazy rigged move. I don't think you're going to see it. I think we might actually be seeing... I don't know if this is taking profit to then fight GME or AMC, but I want to see how this is happening, and see what AMC and GME do throughout the rest of the day. That's what I want to see. See if this can turn back up. Oh, wait. Hold on. I gotta play this part again. I want you guys to listen to this for a second. I don't care if I get demonetized for a second. Okay. I'm gonna have you guys listen to this song because it says NASDAQ in it. It's Childish Gambino. If you guys know Childish Gambino, he's fantastic. I love that music, man.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Just listen.
Tryna catch me riding dirty, 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 tryna catch me riding dirty. My music's so loud, I'm swinging. They hoping that they gon' catch me.
I might get demonetized for this. I don't give a shit. Here we go. Listen.
Okay, it's Childish Gambino, homegirl dropping like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack. Move black girls cause
All right, we're done. Homegirl dropping like the NASDAQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ, or let's look at the keys. Oh. Palantir insiders selling. They know the stock is overextended. The up candles today are vectors, meaning market makers are shorting while retail is buying because it's breaking out. And that's overall what we are talking about. Palantir, where did it go to? It headed up towards where did it get to? It got above our 229.69. That is unexpected by the market makers. So now the shorts most likely will be applied and we will see this rotate back down. You are creating a 30-minute divergence. So you have to pay attention if this rotates down. We can still see rigged moves up, right? They can flip those positions back and forth, but right now, if this 30-minute divergence confirms, bad news bears, okay? The pump it up. Oh, you gotta pump it up. Like, once you get these on your charts, guys, it looks so pretty. Look how pretty it looks. Once you have them on your charts like I do, look how pretty that is. Oh, it's so pretty. That's down there on Patreon. We're adding Palantir to it because people really like Palantir. Plug going back up. Let's check on Plug for now. All right, 30-minute. If that crosses up, 30-minute swing trade. Just know it's a 30-minute swing trade, so you have to be very close with it. Make sure if you haven't already, give your boy a like this morning. Give me some likes, you know? You don't have to. You don't have to. It's just if you want to, you know? If you want to. If you don't want to, I don't want you to like it. But if you want to, go ahead. Oil really dropped off there. Sorry, just random, but... Uh-oh. Trying to keep that 50. What happened on the 2-hour? Little divergence here for the 2 hours, saying the 4 hour is going to roll over. 4 hour rolled over, but it hasn't rolled down fully. You got a shot for maybe Bitcoin to make that 4 hour divergence first. Okay, let's take a look around at some other stuff here. Volatility on the 30-minute, trying to turn back up right here for the swing. So volatility, I still have some money in this. I already took some profit on it to make some money out of it, and now I'm just letting the rest ride because it's a longer out position. AMD, married to it now, huh? That's pretty serious. That's pretty serious. Everything will be just fine. That doesn't look pretty. You need to turn around, right? You need to reject right there, man. You need to reject. 1, 2. Crazy ass kids come and knock up on your door, so let them in. Let's see. Let's go look at IWM. Let's just try to see, Robert. You might be if this 15-minute can roll back over going negative. That would be a good sign. As of right now, you just don't want this 30-minute to curl up, so I totally understand. I would say you'd feel a little bit more comfortable, right, if this 15-minute crosses down. But you do have the signals here. You have some divergence at the highs. You're outside of a weekly range. The trade makes sense. manage your risk, right? Now you got to manage that risk. If you see this 30-minute curl up, not a good sign for that short position because of what the signals are telling you. No, I think it's okay. I would just more so say this was the better time for that for sure pull down. Then it pops up. You would manage your risk. So let's say it's like if I'm in this trade, you're technically taking it as a management of risk. Like if you bought a short here, goes down, pops up, well, the 15-minute curled up, so I need to manage risk. That makes sense. Now you're waiting for this 15-minute to curl back down. See how close it is to negative? 15-minute curls down, feel comfortable. If it doesn't, ooh. But this makes sense. You're crossing below all the shorter moving averages at a potential top, a potential lower high. So I think it makes sense. Just make sure that 15 minutes crossing over. And if the 15-minute curls up in this area near that center line anytime, it's not going to be a good sign. But from this area, if the initial push down is what it should be, a big one, that would be fantastic. You might just go pop. Just remember, you can use the top side of the weeklies as support. So if you are taking this, pay attention to right here, 218.72. And Robert, I fully trust you, and you should trust yourself. You know, you made a decision for these reasons. Know what things you need to see in order to be convinced to get out, and just make that your line in the sand. Know where you're maybe targeting. Like if I have an expiration that's only a week out or something like that, I'd be saying 218.72 looks fine for a retest, and then I don't want to mess with it at that point. Even if it does drop through the floor, it's like I want to make sure to make money on the play. Let's go back over to the SPY just for a brief moment here. Ooh, that's bad. Wow. Okay, 15 minutes still could make that divergence, but I don't know if this will be able to cross over. I think it might just, but we'll see. Qs, I want to see that. Oh yeah, this is bad, guys. There's no tapering in this. Like, you might be going with the tapering of this, but it's just so down. Look at that. That's so down. Dollar remaining higher, 2 hour curled up with divergence, 4 hour able to curl up right now. So you have 4 hour divergence on the dollar. This is just the start is what the dollar is saying. We could see, wow, this actually might get ugly. What the frick? Oh, and the other thing to pay attention to for the SPY today, the daily scale. See how the daily's curling over? See how the daily's curling over? If that posts by the end of the day, I'd be cautious. Q's already did it, right? So look out for that 50 or something. But the SPY, really already, unless Netflix saves the market after hours. Still in correction mode, not in crash mode, really. We're still in correction mode. We're not going negative or anything. Let me go. Can't make a wife out of a hoe. No. God, these mixes are so good. I love mashups. You guys want to hear some funny music, some like very creative mashup music? It's called Super Mash Bros. Type it on YouTube and listen to some of their songs. Super Mash Bros. I also like White Panda. I saw them in person. White Panda was awesome to see in person. They played at my college, and some frat dude came up on the stage because they wear panda masks, and he stole his mask and ran off. He ran down the street, and the artist, the DJ, White Panda, the actual person in the group, ran after him and beat the crap out of him and got his mask back. I have to binge watch your courses tonight. So the key thing, guys, with AMD, if you're really trading like me, I am very patient with the entries and everything like that. So that tells me, was there an entry here at all for the 30-minute, even for a short-term swing trade on the 30-minute, or even for some kind of reversal? There isn't. And notice that the dead cat bounce that we did get was almost nothing. That is potential there for those things, but as of now, heading down to lower levels, never crossed up on this MACD. Like, a lot of the time you want to see at least the RSI above the center line here, and you want to see the price action getting above the 9. We never had that, guys. But hey, I respect it. At least you're taking accountability, Short Fridays. I think that's awesome. Yeah, send Scott that $2, you know. Buy him half a cup. He's not worth the full cup yet. Neither am I. Neither am I, Scott. Do GME. I don't know who that is, but she sounds ugly. My wife's hotter than GME, whoever that is. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, the stock. The stock. The 30-minute here, still down by the center line, so we're still waiting to see if that thing can rotate up. This is a moment in time where we're just being patient, right? 30-minute crossed over, telling us 30-minute pullback right here. What do? Well, we do exactly what we're supposed to. We pull back. So now we got to see if that's able to base out and turn back up. AMC, if you want to look at that one too, same thing, right? Now you can trade with your Moo account on TradingView. They've tried to sponsor me like 20 different times. La vaca, moo. The things I never done. One I haven't looked at was Meta. I want to look at Meta. Ooh, seeing the bounce back. Meta, weirdly enough, had the divergence here. Solid little setup there. Kind of by the, I believe it was by that weekly expected move too, and it just dropped off. Palantir really suffering here. It was a little bit short of that weekly expected move. Now you're below it. You actually got a retest on this. I wonder if we need to make a stronger base. Watching this 15-minute curl over for the stronger base, but you're testing that weekly expected move is like right there. Interesting. Do you see how this too is giving it up, so it's not the best. Let's see Microsoft. Microsoft's creating the divergence. Do you see this on a 15-minute? You see this? This is a divergence on the 15-minute. Pay attention if that crosses up. 30-minute actually could see that prolonged bounce. And if that confirms there, you might have 30-minute divergence as well. 2-hour, where's that? Ooh, pretty deep. So lower high looks likely. Maybe we go retest something like 447. Everything that I've done. So let's see if Microsoft can save the market a little bit. What were the 3 stocks that they just put tokens out for? Was it Microsoft, Apple, and GME? Oh God, yeah. There it is, 15-minute divergence on the 2 stocks that have tokens now. So you want to know what stocks are most likely going to be rigged for an upward move to hold up the market. Probably going to be Apple and Microsoft. They potentially could, Robert. I think it would be good for them too, but they also do an order flow thing where you don't necessarily get even the best price. They wait until it's almost a worse price and then they'll sell it at that higher price. So like if you buy something, at least in my experience in the past with Robinhood, and I still have my fund account, a lot of the time I'll say, I want to buy it at $1. Then the price of the stock goes to like $1.02, $1.03. And even if it hit $1, it wouldn't give it to me. And then the price of the stock goes to like 98 and it gives it to me for $1. So you'll see a lot of these times where it's not giving you the actual order. It's waiting till it can give you kind of a shitty order, is what it seems like to me. Why GME though? It's not even in the S&P. I wonder if there's as much money behind the 2 other stocks as there is for GME and AMC. Crazy, or at least GME, considering that. So I wonder if GME is secretly as big as Apple and as big as Microsoft. Maybe there's billions and billions of dollars of shorts behind the stock, meaning there's a lot of money on the line. I think the keys are bottom fishing. VIX is still below 15. Let's look at the VIX, see if it's showing any reversal signals here that can help us out. All right, let's look at the 30-minute then. Rejection divergence. See if we get a rejection divergence. We can see that proven on the 15-minute, able to roll back down. This could be it. This could be a moment to pay attention. Yeah, this might be a moment. You might get a rejection divergence on the VIX, on the 15-minute, or on the SPY, and then you'll get a rejection divergence on the VIX on the 30-minute. Qs as well. This might be the scare out move. Convince convince all the retail to buy puts, could just short this thing to say, oh, I'm going to sell all my stocks and then send it higher. We'll see. We'll see. Ooh, Dow giving it up. That's some divergence on the 15. I don't think you have anything on the 30 though, do you? Ah, you do. Rejection divergence right there for the Dow. That's not good. Look, look, look. Apple. Let's see Microsoft. Apple and Microsoft. Apple and Microsoft. Down now that much on AMD. Don't care. If everything else bounces, this could bounce too. So I'll say that, but the signals weren't there for the bounce yet. Ooh, but Microsoft and Apple, remember, those are the two we got, right? I think it's both. They have tokens now, which means they are going to be manipulated. Which direction were they manipulated in? Up. So I think Microsoft and Apple get manipulated up. And I think GME gets manipulated down. Because you're now seeing that 2 hour proving itself here, wanting to cross over on this MACD. We'll see, just a little bit lower. We'll still pay attention to what's going on throughout the morning here. Yeah. CSI. Ooh. Well, you know. Oh, that's a bad wick, though. You're trying to confirm that upward move, which still, if that did confirm in 38 minutes, you would say, like, the most potential move is up from here. But if you close below that 200, it's very risky. So if you see this 30-minute rollover, that 2 hour signal is going to be a bad one. Okay, so pay attention if this 30-minute rolls down. But if it rolls down and then rolls back up, that would be more what I'd pay attention to. Seeing some things in here, Maybe it wants to dip down into this. So 30-minute rolls down, bad news bears. 30-minute rolls back up, good news. 2 hours probably going to see that overall sustainable bounce with the higher low. Very good higher low. Let's look at this daily scale. Maybe that'll help. Ooh. Divergence, great. Confirmation, great, great. Now you're seeing if that can react. I think you could head up towards the 200 as long as this 30-minute remains positive. 30-minute goes negative, bad news bears for a little bit until that turns back up. FTX. Hey, Hustler, congratulations. 300%, that's great. Now, a lot of the time it's about not being greedy, guys. You know, greed overall is not a good thing. You want to more so be like, I'm building the slow way. Maybe this was just a great trade for me. Hey, I don't care. I don't care if it was one contract. That's fantastic. I don't care if it was, you know, you buying one share. That's a great return. I know you that you're getting on the floor. Where are the ones I'm paying attention to? Microsoft. Got rid of it. Apple. Getting rid of it. Right at our point to piece together here, 225.84. You did enjoy it, Onda? Was it good? I want to make sure it was good, Onda. Let me know if there's any pieces that you think could have been a little bit like more in-depth or something, or a little bit less confusing, but I think it was overall good. I made sure to take all day on Tuesday to really refilm that to make sure it was good. So hopefully you appreciated that while you took the course. It's pretty simple though, isn't it, Onda? Anyone can learn that, man. It's a great thing to learn, even for veterans who haven't swing traded before, or veterans who need to know like entries for a swing trade. I think it's fantastic. All my life, oh no. Of anything down. Microsoft has the divergence right outside of the move, you guys. I'm just going to tell you right now, Microsoft, This divergence is just outside of the weekly expected move. These are ones that I kind of look for. So see if this 15-minute can cross up. Weirdly enough, Microsoft has the good potential for a bounce here if it can cross up on this 15-minute here. Just wanted to let you know. I have some feedback. Okay, awesome. Just short of INTC. Intel. Makes sense a little bit on the 15. I could see it. I could see it if the divergence created and forms and completes on a Tuesday. But I want you to be aware this 2 hour is just now crossing up. So you do have a little bit of room to the upside here. A little bit of room, but if you start to see this weakness right here, that can be a good sign that's going to fade. So be careful with it. You're seeing a lot of positive signals here for INTC. Big one for the 2 hour. So just be aware of it, YS. It doesn't mean you have to be wrong. It just means now you know what you're getting into, right? It's good to bring it to your attention. Now you know what you're getting into. This could pop higher. Yeah. Winding and grinding up on that ball. Ooh, AMC, about to print this, so you got 30 minutes left. We're going to check in on this in about 30 minutes. Yeah, YS, that's what I'm here for. Take a second look just to make sure we're both looking at everything clearly, paying attention to our risks, looking at both sides of the coin. Very good. Thank you for bringing it up, though. It's awesome. Last one. Ooh, Bitcoin. Ooh, we're still pulling back on Bitcoin. SPY flashing positive here. I wonder what stocks are going to hold them up. I wonder if it'll be Microsoft. And I wonder if it'll end up being Apple. Right now you have Tesla making some good stuff here. 30-minute crossing up positive territory. We'll see if that can continue. Netflix, right before the earnings. You got some divergence down here. But remember, this is a 50-50 flip. This could just escalate things tomorrow. I know. Okay, JS, yeah, I mentioned you earlier. Try the hedge in Chrome. Can you get to me this morning, Jacob? Yes. Let me see if they have messaged me back or see if there's any problems on their end. Did you send them a like a ticket? You need to send them a ticket first of all. That's crazy though. I freaking hate it. Open me up. So I'm sorry to tell you this right now. You need to send them a ticket, first of all, because I can't do much about it. I've done a lot of research into seeing what I could do. I can't do a lot, but one thing I noticed is teachable status is a good thing to follow on Twitter. They said they have recently on July 12th, so a few days ago, 6 days ago, they had issues with curriculum not loading on pages. So they have a fix in the works and they're going to update you on the status. So right now you really need to send them a ticket. I'm going to send them one as well. I'm going to send them another one just so they know we're really serious about this. Let me go over to Teachable. Let me make sure. If I hit it 2 times, that'll like Okay, let me read what your problem is one more time, JS. How do you send a ticket? I'll try to give you the link. I might email you the link. This is what I need. I got you. I'm working on it. I'm gonna email you real quick, Jacob. Jake. Let me send it to this. Jacob, there you are. They're pretty good. They could get back to you the next day or so. I'm just sending it real quick. Sorry, it's kind of a cut and dry email. Okay, so I'm sending you that link. I'm gonna now send them one myself, just to see if I have a different portal. Okay, let me read what your problem is one more time. Lucas, I'm having trouble with 70% complete. Tried with Edge and Chrome. Can you get... So, JS, can you sign in, or is the course not loading? Hey, shot. Facts. You have to take your VPN off as you first enter the course. So do you have a VPN on as well, JS? And it's great to have you guys helping out as well. Thank you guys for giving your comments. But it only loads to 70%. Like the page or like the course? That's crazy. The course, okay. AMC, Disney, that tricked me. Let me go check the status and make sure everything's good for that course then. Because that makes a little bit of sense there. And thank you so much, Short Fridays, for the $5. Sorry, I'm just working on a problem here, guys. But we're keeping an eye on AMC for a little bit. That's fine. I wanna know. Okay, so that's not gonna help at all. Courses. Let me go into these courses and make sure everything's good. God, it all should be there. That's the annoying part. Let's see. And I'm still going to add investing on the more advanced course as well, by the way, very soon. Got a lot of work to do. Everything looks functional on my end. That's the troublesome part. So keep me updated, JS. I am trying the best things I can. Students, maybe I could look at your profile real quick. Jacob, there you are. Yeah, it says that you it says everything is functioning well for you, so this is just interesting. Enrollments, progress. Let's look at your progress. No, enrollments. Progress 70%. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, so tell me this, JS, because maybe the 70% is just confusing you a little bit, but this is a maybe. I don't know if things are not loading on your page and things, but it will tell you 70% if you don't like fully watch the whole video and let it go on to the next one, I believe, or mark it as complete. I don't know if that's just confusing a little bit. So what I want you to do is tell me the very last lesson that you can click on and you can take, and let me know what that is. It should be the management of risk, right? How to get out of a trade, don't get screwed. Okay, let me know. Get up to get down. Hit like a 230%er on puts on the Qs. Holy crap. That's what's up. That's so good. Yeah, JS, just let me know what the last lesson on your course is to make sure everything, all the pieces are loading. Because it may be something as simple as like you didn't mark it as done, so then it's only saying 70% complete. And then we're going to add to that as well, but it's all working out? Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. You know, that's what I hate about electronics. Sometimes it's literally like, JS, it's like, sometimes you're like, oh, let me get this high-tech guy to come in and tell me, hey, you might want to unplug that and plug it back in or something. No. It's fine to ask questions, JS. No, I'm never going to bash anyone for being like, I have a problem, try to help me. I'm never going to do that, but I'm glad that it's working out. Luke Cassidy saying, hit like, everybody. AMD is bouncing. Let's go check that out. Sorry, guys, we had to deal with that problem for a second here. Is it bouncing? Is it? Is it? I ain't seeing that thing bounce. Even Apple's not bouncing. Even Microsoft not bouncing. That's ugly. Little bit. You're like, little bit. 2 hour bullish divergence, money flow across the line. Dude, the 4 hour too, man. Look at the 4 hour on this thing. Look at the 4 hour on this thing. Just crossed up, guys. Be very careful with upward plays. That might be all the dead cat bounce you get for now till later. Dead ass, looking at the 30-minute here. That might be all you get for the day. We'll see. It still looks like we're creating 15-minute stuff here. But that dollar is just starting to rip. You're getting the VIX to start to cross up on the 30-minute. Like, this thing is not turning around yet. But maybe we need to do this, really scare people out, and then it starts to turn down. We'll pay attention to this for you throughout the day. Oh, I'd agree with that. Tesla looks like it could actually head up, and we know this had a short seller problem in it. So weirdly enough, Tesla's saying upside potential here. Zoom out to another time frame. Hourly's starting to cross up. Zoom out to another time frame. Ooh, okay, the 2 hour, we really need that to confirm, but looks pretty solid here for Tesla. AMC. I'm in the switches with Terra. Got a head full of checks. Gotta grab an umbrella. I'll make it right. I'll make it right. Did something happen with AMC? Did something happen with AMC? Anyone? So that thing is stopped at 0.00 and it's white right now. Why is that white? I'm hashing yo, dragon on the photo. What the hell's going on with AMC? What the hell's going on? Isn't this funky? The men come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. What the hell's going on? That's so weird. You guys see anything with this? Oh, net zero? Yeah, that's what it should be, Marina. AMC barcoded, okay. No, just kidding. Not halted, but... $350K, that's it? Let me see here. Let me see if we have any news, just in case. I want to be aware in case something happens. Let me just look around a little bit for a sec. Okay, there it goes. It's moving again. Wow, good news for AMC. We are seeing AMC has become on Amazon. We do have AMC. Let's see if it's true. Let's see. Someone's freaking lying to me. Why is skinny popcorn like a thing? Like, why is that a thing? They're lying. That was... someone lied. Oh, this is looking, and you do not want that too hard to cross over, guys. Wow, my internet, weird shit going on today. My internet's been weird for like 2 weeks, by the way. So, depending on the platform you have, Hustler, though, but technically July 19th would mean that your options would expire, say, like 30 minutes before close tomorrow. So they do expire tomorrow towards the end of the day. Now, depending where your option is at is kind of when it will expire. It's like if it's like completely worthless around like 2:30 or like 30 minutes before close, they could just expire that worthless. But if it's like in the money, it could go all the way into the end of the day. Okay. Bazinga Pro doesn't show. I don't see any AMC news either. But I'm always worried when things freeze because it means like, oh, what's happening behind the scenes? And right after that pause, we see a dramatic drop from GME crossing down on the 2 hour. So not a good sign right now. Now, what do we see from here on out? What do we see? Do we see another rigged move up in the market? I'm wondering because that looks ugly. Microsoft, that looks ugly. But it's like, I really look at this and I still see it, man. I still see the divergence here. So we'll see if this can gain some ground. With your like stock offering. What's the other one? It was Apple, right? I know that looked ugly, but we still want to look at it from a kind of neutral perspective. Ooh, breaking through. Ooh, okay, let's see. This is a divergence towards the weekly expected move. Let me see if that's at the weekly expected move real quick. Apple heading towards that weekly expected move. It's right towards it right now. But you have 15-minute. This could be something happening here. If we just get this to pop up like this, hey, then you can get a more sustainable bounce over time. We'll see. Right? You could be like, ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Some weird stuff. Weirdly enough, guys, like SPY 30-minute, you see the 15-minute divergence forming, guys, so be aware of this. I know it's dramatic, but if this starts to rip back up, we can see something, but it's not looking like that, right? We're just aware of it. Right now, the direction is down. Very clear about that. The direction is down, but you're aware that if this curls up, the momentum is dying out here. But if this just continues and gets rid of that stuff, then you might be it looks like you're heading down towards a weekly or daily expected move. If the Qs keep going, then get all the way down here and still make a divergence. So around that 474 is where I'm going to pay attention and see if Netflix can really save the market. We'll see. I'm going to have to look at this in a little bit. Of my lonely mind, think about you, baby. Even I dream about you. The reason I want to pay attention to these things on the SPY and the Qs, by the way, is just because it's also there on the 30-minute. So this can be something, right? You see the Qs giving those little green bars. That could still be divergence, but as the direction is continually down, it's a little bit riskier. The SPY is confirming a downward move on the daily scale. All right, daily scale, you are confirming that as of now. Apple's confirming it too. See if Microsoft already did. This is where Microsoft, I think, might have the best potential for a bounce, but if this is going to keep going across the market, we're just seeing things go nuts to the downside. AM Dizzle. How you guys doing? Are you guys holding in there? You guys hanging in there for AMD? It's a sketchy one, guys. I'm just going to tell you, this is a sketchy one. Just went short on Palantir. Okay. Palantir, I think that one sort of makes sense here. Would have liked to do it a little bit higher up, but you haven't even gotten that to confirm yet. We'll see. As long as you know you're slightly front-running the momentum, that's fine. You can manage your risk. It's not a bad play by any means, so you just have to make sure to manage the trade. UVXY is printing. I'm feeling good, man. My volatility is doing well. I just want to pay attention to divergences up here. But not seeing those pop up. This could just be ripping and ripping and ripping. Oh no. Oh God, guys. When you zoom out on things, that makes it look pretty freaking bad. That is not good. It's great for my volatility play, though. Oh my God, this is what you want. Oh my gosh, now you just need the 50 to cross that 200. If we keep dropping, we might just retest that 200 on volatility and then keep going. Made 6,400 on plug. Congratulations, Scott. Well, for Palantir, you can still take this into consideration and say, okay, well, I don't want this 15-minute to curl back up. You are front-running a lot here because the 15-minute hasn't crossed, but if you were shorting, I get it, up towards the weekly expected move. Okay, now it comes down. You might just play middle of the range. I don't know, but you can see reversal from here for sure. That 2 hour that is not a confirmation of an upward move. So you might just be in more pullback mode. We'll see. Nice play though, Scott. Seriously. Thoughts on AMC? Well, AMC is telling you a 2 hour pullback. Same with GME. They're both saying 2 hour pullbacks right now. You see this? That's saying 2 hour pullback. GME, 2 hour pullback, and you only got 9 minutes left in the bar. So it's going to confirm, which tells you, your indicator is telling you that the momentum is saying pullback. Unless this 15-minute can cross up and remain positive, I would more so say unless the 30-minute can cross up. You see that's at that center line. So if the 30-minute is able to base out and curl up, then that 2 hour is not going to continue down in that pullback. But as of right now, a bigger time frame, which is more important, is telling you pullback. Most likely we do go towards $25. You see, here's the thing. You're getting towards Friday. As you get towards Friday, the manipulation definitely will start to come in. That's why your big moves for GME and AMC in the past, the biggest moves have happened on a Monday. Because by Friday, they get beat up, down a little bit more. So now, all these people would be so margin called if you end up here. So what do they do by Friday? We're going to send it here, and then maybe we see a reaction next week. We'll see. It is a red day, man. AMC, same thing. We'll take the nice little profit, right, Phronix? We'll still take it. Okay, Fred, I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, you're still in 2 hour pullback, but it doesn't mean good things can't happen. It just means that's the most likely scenario from here. And AMC could legit end up all the way down towards 437 before it wants to really base out. Now, that would take you negative. That's not a good thing, but we see that in the past, right? We hit these levels, we pull all the way back down into 437. That's a good line to pay attention to. But it doesn't mean it has to break down. You just want to make sure things are turning back up to see positivity. But as you get into Friday, it makes sense. They don't want this to close above $5 by Friday. Why, thank you. I actually have emceed at events in my city. We have a big Oktoberfest, and I got to MC for it. I got to stand on stage and say the things that were happening, and it was a lot of fun. I even got to MC a wiener dog race. It was fun. Like and subscribe, says Marina. In your face. Thank you so much for the compliments. Really appreciate it. Oof. Oof. Never confirm the upward move on the 30-minute, not even for a swing. Gold might confirm a swing here. It's trying to. You have all the signals of a swing higher here for the 30-minute. I usually like to at least have a 2 hour. Look at that. It's crossing down, telling you pull back here. This song keeps cutting out. Let me go into this real quick here. Whoa. Yo, volatility is going insane though. You gotta admit, volatility is going nuts. It's above 15 now. Volatility could hit as high as like 18 before it really turns down on the daily scale. It is overbought. Oh God, what is the target? What is the target? Is it this daily expected move? This would be a good area for support for the SPY. How tall are you? I am 5'10". Solid 165 right now. Trying to get back up to my 180. I kind of like being 165. Fast as boy. Oh, I'm sorry about that in your face, but Microsoft one I'm paying attention to. Now, not necessarily to take a trade, but just to see if the bounce is there, and then I want to pay attention. But 15-minute looks like you do have a divergence here. So if this does cross up, you have better potential for a more sustainable bounce. It doesn't mean full recovery. It could if that remains positive, right? But for now, if this goes positive for a brief moment, watch out. So pretty much the 15-minute can curl up an hourly. Look how deep down the hourly is. It's really deep, so look for that to get towards that center line and then turn back down if that 15-minute confirms. Hey, you're taking accountability in your face. We respect that around here. We know this market is meant to try to beat up retail traders, so just learn from it and think of something you did wrong in that move and really try to be honest with yourself. Be like, this is what I should have done differently. Write it down and make sure you do it in your next trade. I love pain. You're like, I love hurting my own feelings. That's funny. Also, 30-minute here giving you that divergence as well. That's why I'm really paying attention to it. Dude, WTF? What happened? Because I'm self-conscious about my body. Oh, boy. Yeah, GME confirming it on the 2 hours, so you're still in that 30-minute pullback. We've never gotten the sign up, so you're going to curl over on 2 hours. You got 3 minutes, and that's going to confirm, and then it could say 2 hour pullback. So as of right now, the 2 hour saying the most likely scenario is 2 hour pullback. So the 30-minute is also saying downside potential. So you need that to turn back around. Anytime that turns around, I think you could see GME down towards 24.56. I haven't looked at Solana in a while. Now, for crypto, most of the time I just look at 4 hours and dailies, and you'd say 4 hours saying, hey, we have a pullback. You probably have a 2 hour, which is as well what I would pay attention to. You have that not confirming the upside, so that is kind of saying lower high. So as of right now, you want to see if this daily can roll over, but right now, the most likely scenario, 4 hours in pullback mode. So until that 4 hour can really base out and then see that turn around, see that swing back up, you're kind of negative on Solana for now. Just know, what are we seeing? What are we seeing? Just think of it how we've been thinking about it lately. The SPY has sold off, the Qs are selling off, everything is selling off, Nvidia is selling off, right? AMD is selling off. All these things are selling off, but we're not seeing AMC and GME pop. So most likely what's happening here is options expiration, and we could see a crazy move on Monday from these stocks if that's going to be the correct thing to pay attention to. It does not look pretty right now, but it doesn't mean it can't look pretty for next week, because now you have all these sold off, which is what they need to do. The collateral has been damaged, so they have maybe taken profit. And at the same time, you might say, okay, where are they going to have to buy this back if AMC and GME calls, margin calls? Might have to put that money back into AMC and GME. Right when it looks darkest before the dawn, right when it looks ugly again, it might just turn right back around. So we're paying attention to this 30-minute chart. And 2 hour charts. Jew, part of me fears you. Yeah, 2 hour getting below the RSI as well. We're seeing volatility go up. So not only is the swing trading course great, the other course, I still have it for $100 because I was working on the other course. It's still up for $100. So if you're still thinking about getting the course that can help you when volatility is higher, That's where you really want to get into that trade in any market course. It's down in the description there. It's right below the swing trade course. It says $100 next to it. Why you use multiple charts at the same time on your investing portion? You only use one monthly chart for signals, but it's because you see less crazy stuff. So on the monthly scale, right, you're going to see less crazy stuff, right? So if I pull up a monthly here, you're going to see less crazy stuff. So as far as taking profit, you can convince yourself to get out multiple times. So you don't necessarily want to do that on the monthly because you're just looking for that to cross down below. That's going to take some dramatic price action to cross below, right? So for the monthly scale, you see less crazy stuff. Look how flowy it for the most part has been, right? And then you want to look at other stocks too. Microsoft, look how flowy that is. It's not going to cross over, but a weekly chart could convince you to get out and then you can get back in. So really managing the trade, you can do that on the way up, but then you'll be swing trading on the weekly at that point. So the best way to think about it is I'm invested until I see that thing get high enough to where I want to take profit, or I see weakness in the overall move, confirming a move below that 9. Okay, that's more so how we would do it on the monthly because you see less crazy stuff. Look at this whole time. We closed below here. We crossed up on the MACD and we went up, we never crossed back down. So I don't want to be convinced to sell until right here. Do you see how I'm doing that? But right away, if I switch to a daily chart, I'm going to have to manage this closer because look at all this craziness that can happen. A lot more crazier stuff. Is she? She might be. She might be. We have the door open, so you guys might hear baby girl pretty clear. Yeah, so for the swings in the near price action, you would use daily style, and then you would use the 4-hour to manage that. So overall, the reason you want to manage it more on the 4 hours is because notice how the daily, this comes up, confirms below. So you want to more so put yourself in scenarios to make money too. And the 4-hour will help you make money in the move and then get back in. And then you can watch the daily and wait for that to confirm back below again. Okay, now you're out. And then you don't even have to use the 4-hour at that point. But then you see this cross up. You can manage the, I mean, and you, by the way, it's just if you want to really manage the trade and make sure nothing's happening at the beginning of the trade. Because more so, the times where you run into problems is like, you'll get this to bounce up, and then it'll do that and make another bottom. Do you see this right here? This right here, people could be convinced, oh yeah, this is going to cross up the MACD. And then that rolled over. If you were caught up in that, the 4-hour is going to help you get out of this a little sooner, right? And then once that does actually confirm up, you could just wait until you see the bar down. But the 4-hour is going to cross up right here, and then you can be in the move again. But I get it. Everyone can do it a little differently, but that's more so what I'm doing here is just saying you want to manage it at the beginning, and then once you see that good, you just are waiting for that bar. I feel like I'm not explaining it the best, but more so swing trading is just riding that 9 up. Boop. I just like to manage the trade early on because you'll run into choppy ones too, like Netflix. You notice this? This one is like a daily swing trade that turned into 4-hour swing trades over time. Because if you would daily swing trade here, you might run into, oh, and then you might not make much profit, right? So daily swing trade, 4-hour swing trade, ooh, 4-hour swing trade, ooh, 4-hour swing trade, ooh. More so on I would like the daily to remain green and then see in that. So you notice that this is still green, so it never crossed over. So right here, I have a 4-hour pullback. So for the 4-hour, what I'd be looking for is this to remain green and the 4-hour to pull back. So the 4-hour pulls back and the 4-hour to cross now. So now we see, okay, we cross down for just a brief moment. We cross back up. That means this trade is still safe on the daily scale. Then we come up to here and we see this cross down right here and we say, okay, this isn't safe on the daily scale for now. Oh, did it cross over on the daily? Did it cross over on the daily? I don't believe it did during this time. So then we see that cross back up and you go, okay, it's just a way to get out of a play before you see something bad that could happen. In this scenario, though, you just kept curling up, which means that daily is remaining positive, right? Daily is remaining positive, and your 4 hour just gave you the signal, so your risk is very managed. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is, Hustler. It's like, watch the 4 hour, like if you're trading based on the daily, you watch the 4 hour for weakness. If that curls up without crossing down the daily, then you're still good to go. It's just a way to manage your risk closer and get a little swing trade within a swing trade. Thoughts on shop? Let's go look at that real quick. Where's Tony at? It's kind of like here. Like, do you see how the daily scale is getting wonky? You have the swing trade signals all confirming right around here because you're below the 200. You really want to wait for all three. Boom, pops up. If you see them on the daily, it's already going to be done on the 4 hour. The 4 hour is already going to be up higher. So you notice how, let's look at the dates here, right? All the signals have confirmed on this bar. So $61 on June 7th. So if we look at this, this is negative trying to go positive. So you still want to manage it. But if we look at a 4 hour, that's already going to be most likely on July 7th right here at this bar. It's already positive. So the 4 hour will already see that good price action in it, right? So the daily is just what you're trading on. Now you notice what happened. Well, the 4 hour crossed over right here. So that tells you manage your risk, because what would have happened if this just curled down into oblivion? That would have been bad. And then you see all these wonky curl ups that you just really want to manage throughout. That's the problem under the 200. So now more so you're like, okay, the daily has crossed over. So you might have got a little chopped up in here with that 4 hour, but now this has crossed down. It's saying negativity. Cross back up, you might say, oh yeah, that's solid, it's a great signal, and then on the next bar that was bad. So the way that this is good is like maybe the 4 hour is able to get you out a little bit earlier in this signal. So if we go look in recent times, we can see, okay, 4 hour, it crossed down on this bar actually, so it saved you a little bit of money actually. Hey, Short Fridays. Yes, and that's something that was pointed out in the video last night, was the fact that this is huge compared to the last time, because last time we said this is going to short squeeze because it faded back below. But this closed above, so we were like, read into that a little bit. This could just be the moment where this thing takes off, and that's where we just zoom out and we say the weekly's turned up as well, getting above the 50. So everything for today does make sense. Even the little bounce in the morning makes sense. Now we got to see if this thing's going to fade back down with some kind of divergence, which we do have on the 15-minute towards that weekly expected move. So if we start to bounce from here and you see these things start to go positive, first of all, you want to be careful. The direction for right now on some bigger time frames is down. The daily has crossed down, but you can see some kind of bounce here before that wants to go again. All right, guys, for today, though, I know it's only 10:40, but I do have to hop off on just a little bit earlier today. I got some stuff to get to, but overall, hopefully today was helpful. And keep throwing the questions out about the course. And Onda, if you need some more clarification and you keep having that same question, we can maybe put another video up just saying like, hey, important info, just some clarity on this situation. We can add that to it. For the course, we are going to be adding, kind of how to do the swing trading with those shorter time frames if you're going to do it. Okay, we're going to add that to it. And then for the course that's about how to trade in any market, in a more volatile market, which we kind of have one right now, that might be the actual course to take right now. Even though the swing trading is out, we can still use it. But as volatility creeps up, that $100 course is still very, very, very good for when volatility is higher. I'm serious. That is so good. It will get you thinking. If you've just taken the swing trading course and you do have the ability to take the next one, I highly encourage it. The more knowledge you gain, the more power you have in trading in this market. So overall, just wanted to say thank you so much for joining the live stream today. Keep the questions coming. Write down your questions about any of my courses that you have. I am willing to answer them live as best as I can. And then I'll also think about them when I'm off stream. That way I can make sure that I'm being as clear as possible with this type of stuff. So thank you guys for joining today. I do have to hop off early. I appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, donating, Short Fridays, and everyone else who donated today. Really do appreciate it. Even if it was for half a cup of coffee, which I have about half a cup of coffee right here. So thank you. chugged it, and I spilt all over my white shirt. So thank you guys, Spicy Avocado. I chugged that half a coffee for you, but thank you so much for joining today. And yeah, cute cup. That's what my whole kitchen looks like. She likes pink. But thank you guys for being here today. And if things start to get a little crazy again, which they already are crazy, but I do have to hop off. If something crazy starts to happen, like we see some kind of crazy bounce or something, I will be hopping back on. If not, we still have the YouTube videos. Make sure to pick a time and just go to my channel at that time every single night and look for that video every single night, because a lot of people saying that they're not receiving notifications. A lot of people saying it's not popping up on their recommended pages. So hopefully it's popping up on your recommended pages, but if it's not, just go over to my actual channel every single night at like 7 o'clock, I would say. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm gonna go see if baby girl needs to hang out with her dad for a bit. Peace out, guys. And Hustler, I'm going to come back for you for 1 second because I just read that. You're here for the end of the stream. What you need to be paying attention to is a lot that you might still be learning, okay? There's things like divergences and things like that. Once you're able to, try to take that next course. I'll leave it for $100 for now, since I know that there's some new people in here that have just taken the swing trading course and are, wanting to keep learning. And I love that hunger to keep wanting to learn, because people really, really, really like that next course. So for the time being, though, divergence is here, but what you can see here is just 30-minute cross up, right? We're down towards a weekly range. These are all things you'll learn in the next course. You're still waiting for the swing trade setup, right? The hourly chart. Looking for this to get back above those moving averages. That means there can be another swing higher. So hopefully there is some helpful stuff, but example on CSIQ. Let's do that for you since you did join a little bit later. And Red Baron, thank you so much for subscribing. So what you'd want to look for here is more so like you've probably taken that swing trading course, okay? So you see the swing trade signal right here above on the RSI and the MACD. Now you're below the 200, so you have to be a little careful, but that ended up playing out. Now you're seeing weakness in the overall stock. So we want to look at like a 30-minute and just say, if that 30-minute crosses over, I should say pullback. If it just doesn't and it turns back up, well, you're probably going to see 15 minutes, 15-minute is confirming down. So you really want to see that 15-minute curl back up into positive territory to see an extended positive move. But if it starts to curl over on the 30-minute, then you say, oh, this is a 30-minute drawdown. If it starts to do some things on the 2-hour where that actually confirms up, this is a bad bar to do that on with that look. But for the most part, now you are crossing up again. So if you do this at any time and you confirm it, that could mean upside. You've kind of a way up and a way down. You want to pay attention to both. All right, guys, I got to hop off for now. I'm going to leave you guys over on GME seeing some ugliness. Actually, let's leave you on the SPY with that divergence for a little bit. All right, we're going to leave you on the SPY with this 15-minute divergence and see if anything happens from here, all right? Thank you guys so much for joining today. I got to bounce. See ya. Peace.